There's a well-known Chazal that says this week's parsha that after the Neis of Kriyas Yamsuf and the Shiur Sayam, it says Vayelchu shlosh sham b'midbar v'leimatzu mayim. They went 3 days in the desert and didn't have water. And Chazal tell us that that they went 3 days without Torah and they got tired, they got weary, and that's why we're masakin, Chazal masakin, that you don't have 3 days without. We have lading on Monday and Thursday, and on Shabbos. This way, there's no 3 days without Torah. You can't live 3 days without Torah. So the question is, why punkt by after the Shiur Sayam? Why that is the point when from this point on, Klai, or maybe by Gitzias Mitzrayim, maybe Matan Torah. It seemed like that Shiur Sayam, that was the time when from this point on, we can't live without Torah. Before that was fine. They went 7 days until then without Torah. What happened by the Shiur Sayam? So I think the Torah Pshutim is like this: is that if you look at the Shiur Sayam, it spends a lot of time, or at least a little bit of time, certainly describing Markavos Pari V'Cheloi and how Mivchar Shalisha. The word is like this: the whole idea of Shiur Sayam is Hashem Yimloich Leilam V'Ad. That means Klai Yisrael saw Malchus Shamayim, and they saw the beauty of Malchus Shamayim, the goodness of Malchus Shamayim, and they were moved to see Shiur when they saw Malchus Shamayim. There's another Malchus. There's a Malchus of Olam Hazeh. There's a Malchus that's misnaged to Malchus Shamayim. That was sort of embodied or symbolized with Parei. In other words, there's another Malchus over here. There's a Malchus of Parei V'Cheloi. His whole kingdom, his whole civilization, his whole Malchus came, so to speak, to run after Klai Yisrael. Not in the format of Yechidim or individuals or strong people, in the format of a Malchus. A Malchus, when you look at a Malchus inspires Shiur. Every country has a national anthem, because every country has a Malchus. Is something that's beautiful. What inspires Shiur is when you see a totality of a whole bunch of details harmonizing and coming to some whole. So every Malchus has a Shiur, and Pari represented the Malchus of Olam Hazeh. He represented the Malchus of Olam Hazeh of what's Misnagit HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that has its own Shiur, that has its own song. And Klai Yisrael saw that Malchus be'etzem is nothing, and the Malchus of Shemayim is the true Malchus, and it ki goy go, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Malchus overpowered the Malchus of that is Misnagit, or that stands in the way of Malchus Shemayim. Now, and the song of Malchus Shamayim, there's a Shiur, but the Torah is also called a Shiur. The song of Malchus Shamayim is a Torah. Once you tasted the picture of Malchus Shamayim, and that's what Klai Yisrael tasted by Shiur Sayam, you can't live without it. You can't live without that song of Malchus Shamayim, and it's more than that. Because the truth is, if you don't reinforce yourself, if you don't connect to Malchus Shamayim, this world is a world of its Alma de Shikra. It has its own song and it's singing all the time. In other words, there is a Malchus of this world, which has its pictures, has its unity, it has its harmony, and if a person doesn't fight it, if a person doesn't do something to go in the other direction, it schleps him in that direction. It schleps in the direction of the Malchus of this world. It has this image of it's attractive, it pulls a person, but the neshama of Yid is pulling in the other direction, and that's what tires a person out. What tires a person out is that the Malchus of this world is pulling in one direction, the neshama is pulling in another direction. So that might be the answer to the question. The answer to the question is what happened at the point of Shiur Sayam was that they already tasted Malchus Shamayim. They already tasted Malchus Shamayim. They saw the nothingness of this world. But if you don't do anything about it, you just sit there. It says, they say Rabbi Baron, this is like a mime from the Gra that Rabbi Baron Kali used to say many times. If you don't do nothing, if a person does nothing, then he's drawn backwards, he's drawn down. Because the Olam Hazeh, the Yetzer Hara, is a force that doesn't rest, and it pulls a person the other direction. You have to pull in the other direction. And what pulls a person the other direction is the Shiur of the Malchus Shamayim. The Shiur of Malchus Shamayim is Torah. And without Torah, Yizn Neshama is Pashat, he's starving. Can't live without it. Another minute left, so I'll say another part. I'll say another part is that it says that Oz Yashir, here's a remez Tchiyas HaMesim. It's a remez Tchiyas HaMesim. Punkt Y out of the whole Torah, here's a remez Tchiyas HaMesim. So I think a very simple zach is that the same idea is that you see that Amalek, because that Amalek came to fight with Klai Yisrael, Mocheitim Chazeich Amalek Mitachas Shamayim. Because what happened was by Kriyas Yamsuf, it was a revelation of Malchus Shamayim that not only Klal Yisrael saw. It says, the Goyim also saw this revelation of Malchus Shamayim. And the bare minimum to have a kiyum in this world is at least to get scared of it. And the nations of the world got scared. Okay, if you're scared, fine. But Amalek was lo yarei elikim. They didn't even have that basic fear that every nivra, every created being has. They want to exist. They see Malch Shemayim, they get scared. He didn't even have that, then he has no schus kiyum whatsoever. If you're scared, you have episode schus kiyum in this world. The Klal Yisrael didn't just get scared. They saw the beauty of it and they sang Shiur. The opposite of they went mamash the opposite extreme of Amalek. If you identify so deeply with Malchus Shemayim that you sing Shiur when you see that Tchias HaMesim, that means that's eternal life. It's the opposite of Malchus.